elections that the Western region and the Northern region had the highest participation rates in terms of voter turnout, and the Central region still had the lowest voter rates, still similar to 2021. Comparing 2021 to 2016, we noticed that there was a notable decline in terms of voter turnout in 2016 and 2021. As earlier mentioned, 73% of young people voted in 2016, but in 2021 we had 68%, representing a 5% decrease, and this can be attributed to different factors, including voter apathy, where young people feel frustrated that even though they vote, the outcomes are still going to remain the same. So they do not feel like their opinion in elections actually matters. Fear of violence. Yes, we realize that some young people do not vote because they fear to be victims of the violent practices in elections. Logistical challenges in terms of transportation or getting to the polling stations. One of the key characteristics of young people is the constant migration. So if you registered in Gulu district and the elections find you in Kampala, there is a very small likelihood that you're going to travel back to Gulu to actually vote. When we look at young people's participation as candidates, but also as campaign agents, we realize that only 4% of the youth participated as candidates, and 16% served as campaign agents, and 6% as campaign agents, volunteers, sorry. But also we realized that the men or the male youth were more likely to take on roles of campaign agents, standing as candidates or campaign volunteers in the electoral processes compared to the females. The barriers to young people standing for candidacy positions is one of the topics that has consistently come up in youth-related election debates. Is the monetization of election or the cost of running for offices. And many young people felt that they were not able to compete effectively, or they did not have the necessary resources for them to participate in the elections. But also one of the most important things is that the Central region had slightly higher numbers of youth serving as candidates and campaign agents compared to the other different regions. Youth attitudes towards elections. 72% of the youth expressed excitement or enthusiasm to participate in the election, but this was mainly tied to the financial incentives. So the excitement was not because, oh, I'm going to vote this leader, I want to vote the next president, but it was mainly because they are going to monetarily benefit from the elections. So for them, elections is an opportunity for them to earn money by working as mobilizers or as campaign agents. One of the things, the voices that came out, this was in Ajumani district, one of the young people said that during elections, youth support to the candidate is to the highest bidder or related to what a candidate fulfills before the election. So if you have more money, you will get youth support. If you do not have money to give to the young people, they will not actually vote you. One of the participants in Bara district said, in search for money, youth accidentally participate in the elections. But also a significant amount of youth expressed a disconcern with the electoral process, citing voter empathy, mistrust in the system, and the perception that election outcomes are already predetermined. When we look at the participation of the marginalized groups, and here we're looking at women and PWDs. For the case of the women, we realize that yes, young women actively also participate in elections as voters, campaign agents and mobilizers, but their engagement or their participation is limited by a combination of social, cultural and economic barriers. The barriers included restrictions from their husbands, fear of domestic violence, because from some of the findings or some of the feedback that we got from the women, they are mainly restricted by their husbands, and if they decide to go and vote, then they are most likely going to come back to be beaten or to be abused by their different husbands, but also they feared if they proceed and participate in elections, they may be divorced. Sexual harassment and monetization of elections, specifically for young women that participate as candidates. One of the other interesting facts when it came to women's participation is the voter turnout of married women was higher than that of women that have actually never been married before, or those that are single. In 2016, 68% of the married women voted compared to 57% of the single women, and in 2021, 73% of the married women voted compared to 56% of those that are single. We also realize that you've run faster than me. The percentage of married women that voted actually increased in 2021